discretion is advised. We're going to talk about some pretty gruesome stuff. And I'm trying to be as respectful as I can be. And where do I begin? I know a lot of people have tried to cover it, but I don't think they understand the level of just evil that is so unsettling that I don't think, an individual's soul can rest because they are damned because of how evil they were. And so the year was 1921, and Apolinar Clemente was the very last man to be hung here in Bexar County and the last man executed in Texas. And there was a lot of, controversy around it. And it was because of how tactful this man was. He might have been insane. They say that he was, somewhat crazy and had been institutionalized several times. He was, of Mexican descent. And one day, he was drinking water at a creek where other boys who happened to be white were also enjoying the water and playing around. They were young boys just having a good time. And Clemente, for whatever reason, blew up and approached the boys saying, "You're ruining the drinking water." And began to attack the older brother, which was Theodore Bernhardt. Theodore Bernhardt tried his best to fight off Clemente, and while his other brother ran to safety and for help. And Theodore Bernhardt was not able to overpower a grown-ass man and lost the fight. And even when having murdered this young boy, Apolinar Clemente went ahead and unfortunately bashed this young boy's skull in to a point where one of his eyes had, popped out and was later found near his bashed in skull, while the other eye was, I believe, carved out and missing. Now, the brother was successful in finding, help. They formed a posse, it's Texas, and found Apolinar hiding in a relative's home. And I guess when you hear of someone who's saying, "I'm, a lunatic, I'm crazy," no one would know to, people that are, challenged or are crazy would not know to go hiding that they've done something bad. And that's what he did. And so he went and he stood trial. He used a lot of different tactics. He used, the race card. They said that it was racially driven. But the case found that Apolinar had the boy's eye in his pocket. And then when that didn't work, he also then tried to use that he had smoked marijuana and he was under the influence of weed. And that turned into a giant narcotics case, which did not work either. And so, yes, he tried insanity, he tried narcotics. And then when those didn't work, he finally said, "If I could have, I would have killed the other brother." And let me tell you, Bexar County did the right thing and said, "Let's go. We got those gallows waiting for you." And because back then we did not play. And it was a sold out show. People crowded to see this man hang. And he would also be the last man executed in the state of Texas. So I'm sure people far and wide came for this show, especially when he made remarks like that. And no crazy man would say that. "I would have killed the other brother too." And while they were doing this, while there were probably hundreds of people standing out there waiting for the gallows to be ready, they asked him if he wanted, one of those, black hoods so that he would not see the crowd. But he refused. And so they say that they may have put the noose on too tight. And so when they pulled the lever and his body dropped, It snapped his larynx and a good amount of flesh on his neck, and blood sprayed onto the crowd, and he was partially decapitated. And it was a violent, bloody death. On what I personally think was someone very deserving. And to this very day, which used to be, the building itself that held the gallows of the jail here in Bexar County, is now a Holiday Inn Express that is still in operation. It was a couple of things. I think the city tried to turn it into storage, and then it eventually turned into a Comfort Inn. The Comfort Inn got, transitioned into a Holiday Inn Express, and nonetheless, many people say that they see this apparition of a body with a noose around its neck floating around. I think he was a serial killer. Why would he have, that keepsake of the eye? Because he probably was a serial killer. And I think him dying in that horrific way that he did put him right at that point between the living and the dead. And that's why he's probably condemned to be haunting the halls of a Holiday Inn Express, as he should, for killing that poor young boy and trying to kill his brother too. So there you have it. This is Bexar County 210 Dark Stories. I will catch you later.